You Can Do Both podcast. This is Court.
And this is Ashley, and we're coming at you live from Boston for the first ever and probably only YCDB book club.
Featuring our best friends.
I was bad. Sorry. We're keeping that in there.
Yeah.
Today we have on McKenna, who you guys have all seen and loved before, founder of C of E.
Thanks for having me.
To my right. And to Court's left, we have Dana. You guys have not met Dana before. You guys know the infamous kickball story. And yeah, we are here to deliver a fabulous book club. Just some context right now. We just got off chatting, having a glass of wine.
Oh, sorry.
All the girls traveled in a full storm that's happening outside.
Fully.
We went through it was like a river.
Wait.
So I had to pick up McKenna. Usually it's like a 10-minute drive. It took 30 minutes. And we went all around the town, went through a river. It was crazy.
It was crazy.
Yeah, it was bad.
McKenna is showing a video of this, probably the Sumner Tunnel.
Yeah, I think so. The tunnel that goes through downtown. It was a full flood situation.
It was pretty scary. I was kind of nervous.
What if you got stuck in there? We would have drowned. But
I would have stayed.
we're committed to book club.
Wait,
Yeah.
actually, like, where the hell did was the water coming from? It was
So it was like
Because it went down, all the water was draining to the bottom.
No, like
think
if
that's
it
what was happening,
was
right?
double the amount, the cars would have been
Yeah.
stuck and we would have been swimming out.
Wait, you know who would have saved
Yes.
you though? Dana's firefighter.
Oh, there's a new character in Dana's life.
Yeah, he probably would have saved us, I feel like, if we needed help. He's working today.
So Dana is our only single friend outside of Jared, and
Yeah.
we're living vicariously through her dating stories, her horrors, and
Lots
all of the
horrors.
things.
Yeah,
It's
lots
so
of scary
fun.
moments, but this is a normal one.
This is a normal
think?
one. It's so
Yeah.
fun because we've already so quickly jumped into like, okay, wait, give us the update. Wait,
Yeah.
who is he? What about this one? No, that one's out.
Yeah.
You know, like those classic
Yeah.
videos.
There's
I
been
feel
a
like
lot.
we're living that, and this is what I was waiting for.
Yeah, I'm glad this could be the entertainment for the group.
Yeah, this is the one thing Ashley and I have
Yeah.
been waiting for.
I love it.
Having someone else in our lives that could experience it.
Well, it's definitely been fun.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, back to the book.
Anyways,
Yeah.
moving on. So, McKenna held up this book earlier. Surprisingly, the only person that didn't finish the book did in fact bring the book. Shout out McKenna.
Fake it till you make it.
So if you recall, our book club episode is Tell Me Lies. So there's also a show on Hulu right now. There's 2 seasons out. It was all the rage. Everybody was raving about the show.
Yeah.
So the homework for this episode was everyone was going to read the book because the show is based off the book and then watch the show. So let's raise our hands. How many people read the book?
Okay, wait. I'm on
Everyone but McKenna.
I'm on page 224. So I'm almost there.
You're 2/3 the way
close.
through.
Yeah.
And then how many people read or watched the show? We have 1.5.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So I think we can do a little bit of a show recap, but I don't want to ruin it for you two.
Okay.
I've
you
seen
watch it.
videos and ruined it already. I was on
Perfect.
TikTok, so
Okay.
Okay.
it's okay if you want to say something.
Because one thing about this, I think, comparison is reading the book.
I haven't seen anything on this anywhere. I haven't seen the book or the TV show.
One thing about McKenna is
it's
that
not on my
sometimes she
feed.
lives under a rock.
Yeah.
We like to help her with some
do.
pop culture.
Okay.
But no, it was like a rage, like a bachelorette type of thing. Like all the girls would get together to watch the new episode come out. As you can imagine, because you've read 2/3 of the book, a very sexualized show. So that's what the rage was about.
Got
It was
it.
like very
Yes.
hot and steamy.
Sexy scene.
I think
Yeah,
you would like it. You
exactly.
should definitely watch it.
Saying sexy.
Like with
Yeah.
JP. You should watch it with
Sexy,
JP.
And the 2 people are dating in real life. The main
Yeah,
that's
no way.
cool.
That
Yeah,
makes it
Lucy
so
and
much more fun.
Steven.
Lucy and Steven
Yeah, they're
are dating.
dating. Yeah,
Yes.
I know.
Wait, I want to
Because
look
of
show. I feel like that never works out.
It's crazy.
It
Yeah,
doesn't,
that
but
would
I'm
make
so
it
here for
awkward,
'cause
too,
they're
if
coming
it
out with a
didn't.
3rd season.
wow.
So the hot and steamy romance
Yes.
continues.
But I feel like sometimes that makes it better because they actually like each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
no,
I feel like that adds to it.
I was watching like Outer Banks recently.
he's
guys, it
ugly.
evolved into a very
Ooh.
terrible show.
It
But
did.
knowing that like Chase Stokes is now with Kelsey Ballerini, but he still has to pretend to be
Yeah.
his ex-girlfriend's girlfriend on a show is just crazy to me.
Yeah, that kind of ruins it.
No, like
almost.
he knocked her up in the show in the last
Yeah.
season.
Oh
So
my- I
like,
feel like
he's
they
pretending
still-
to literally be with child with his ex-girlfriend
Yeah.
for a show.
Wait, how are
crazy.
how are they in
Sorry for all the
college?
spoilers this episode.
Sorry.
I know,
This is
that-
my first time looking at
Doesn't
this.
Steven look like
It's
he's
so
30?
crazy.
Oh, he's so ugly.
But
Sorry,
Oh,
wait,
in
I
real
disagree.
life, in
Let
real
me
life,
see.
his personality is so cute. I was watching
Sorry, I'm
interviews.
sounding
It's
like
kind
a,
of
And-
like it's kind of like Chuck Bass.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
agree. Yeah, there's like
he gives Chuck Bass.
he does.
That's
I think
attractive
he's
to you.
attractive, yeah.
He's
he looks really good in that
really
picture.
attractive in the show.
And he looks
I think
sexy
she's
there.
beautiful. She's,
Yeah.
She's
so,
so
gorgeous.
pretty.
No? I think once you hear like his lure. Okay, wait. Can we start
We
from the
have to-
beginning?
yes.
Lucy
Ashley-
with a star of what is it?
Lucy and the Star with Diamonds.
Yeah.
Ashley, keep us on track.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'm gonna reel my friend McKenna in. Let's start from the beginning. So obviously, guys, bear with us. This is our first ever book club episode, so we're learning as we go. So I want to start with what everybody's thoughts and reviews of the book were. So if you had to rate it on Goodreads, it's out of 5 stars, what would you give it? We can start with Dana.
Yeah, let's go down the line.
I think like probably like a 3.5. I'd give it. It took
Okay.
me a little bit to get into.
Okay, that's fair.
So yeah,
You hated it.
I didn't hate it. I feel like a romantic novel isn't like my go-to book, but yeah, like maybe a 3.5.
Okay.
I was gonna rate it a 3-4 specifically. I feel like I liked the writing style. It was easy to read. I liked the back and forth between like the different times and years, and I liked the 2 different perspectives. However, it was just kind of too long of a book for me. Like it was the
was
same
really long.
thing over and over and over again, and we'll get into this later, but it just kind of made me sad. Like it wasn't like it made me feel icky, and I was like, Lucy, stop! Like, what are you doing? And same when I was reading Steven's part, I'm like, you're so messed up. Like, can you stop too? It was like kind of painful to read a little bit.
That's fair.
But it was like, I think there was a good sexual allure, and I liked the plot, I guess, but I like the show better.
Okay, that is a fair review. I would give it a solid 3 out of 5, only because I only give 4 and 5 stars for things that I would recommend. And I don't know if I would necessarily recommend this book, only because I personally enjoy thrillers and I like a shock. I felt like this, if you want to dive into characters and try to understand and get in their head, such a good book for that. I thought it was an easy thing to read. Like, I did enjoy reading it.
Yeah.
I wanted something like wild to happen, and honestly there were a couple points in the book where I was like, wait, that kind of is crazy. But the types of books I like to read, I like to be like, whoa, I never saw that coming. And it was kind of predictable. I didn't love the back and forth. I was like, wait, where is this going? And then at the end, the back and forth, it was just like, oh, she was over him. I was like, okay, I needed more. I needed something else.
Yeah, I didn't love the ending at all.
Yeah. And then what else are my thoughts? There was no character development. I feel like nobody changed.
No, you're so right. She was anorexic the whole time.
And what was that? That nothing
Why?
ever came out about that.
Yeah.
She was just clearly, very clearly struggling mentally.
Yeah.
And I wanted her to like overcome that or that to be addressed, and it wasn't. It was just a big theme in the book.
Yeah, and Steven was just like a narcissist the whole time.
Yeah.
And didn't evolve as a character, just like straight
Do you
shitty.
think they'll write a follow-up book? Like
don't
maybe that's
think
why they
so.
left it like that?
I don't think so. 'cause it
Also
was-
think like for young women reading this book, especially around the anorexia parts, like there should have been something that came from that, or else like it even got me thinking, and I'm a 26-year-old woman, like, oh, like should I have been thinking that way when I was that age? Like I never thought like that. And like I'd never finished the book, but like for it not to have come to like a conclusion around that, like there was just so many comments around her body weight. It was
So many.
it was really weird. I didn't like it at all.
It was kind of just like, why?
Yeah.
What's the
If
purpose?
nothing
It was like
happening
the,
from
it was even like the comments of like, oh, I'm going to a Soul Cycle class. It was like the author was trying to be
Yeah.
like too like relevant almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I feel like her family and friends kept on mentioning the weight.
Yeah.
But oh my god, you look so skinny. You look so good.
Yeah.
The one friend did say something. Was it
Yeah.
Macy?
No,
she
or,
looked-
no,
That they were
Macy.
worried. Someone was
Bree
worried.
or
Yes.
somebody.
I'm forgetting the
Yeah.
name. But if you were a little worried, in the show, do they talk about her weight or it's
No.
not?
Not at
Not at all.
all.
It's
It
not
wasn't
mentioned
Oh,
once.
wow. Okay.
She just talks
Yeah.
about like how she loves being so skinny all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like
Do you
she
think
was
that
attracted to Steven
looking,
because
like that's why she wanted to be skinny and look that way. Like she thought
I think
he would
so.
want that. Like I feel like that had a big part of it.
Yeah.
Like feeling that she needed to look good and be skinny and
Like to look the skinniest out
Yeah.
of everyone that he was banging.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just to be like perfect.
Yeah.
I don't know.
McKenna, what's your score?
I haven't. Can I rate it? Because I haven't
It's pretty much
finished
the
it.
same thing the whole way through.
all 378 pages of it. I'm like,
So I should end now, basically. Like, don't keep going.
no,
I'm-
I feel like
keep
finish
going.
it.
I'm 225.
Well, you're gonna learn everything that happens now, so it's up to you.
Yeah, I mean, I thought you guys were all going to give it a 5-star review, so I was confused because I was like, this book's shit.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it gets better. Like,
No,
I
I
think
would
it's
say-
just
yeah,
So I would
yeah.
say I would have rated this a 5 out of 5 if I was a grade 11 or grade 12 in high school, a junior or senior in high school, because it's like, oh, I'm learning about college, like, oh, like starting to explore, like, ooh, like sex kind of thing, like. That would have been like more interesting. I feel like now being, again, going back to age like 26 and I'm reading this and I'm like, feel like I've
Healthy relationship. like-
exactly. I'm just feel like I'm kind of past this now. So I was like, this is like college, high school drama. Like I'm not really vibing with this book the whole time. So I just feel like it was the wrong audience. But maybe it's different because in the movie it goes,
yeah.
I don't know.
think who this book is for people that have experienced a really
Yeah.
toxic
Toxic
relationship.
relationship.
I was gonna
100%.
say, like, I definitely related to some moments, even though
Totally.
that's not my life
Yeah.
now. I feel like in the past, like, I would get mad at Lucy and be like, well, why is she staying with him? But
Yeah.
I would think of something, you know, when I was younger and, like, you know, listen to a guy that maybe, like, wasn't genuine. I'm like, okay, I could see why she
Yeah.
chose to do that because she was younger, you know, and manipulated by him, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
And kind of
100%.
controlled.
Oh, I was totally taken back to moments in high school.
Yeah. Oh my
like
God.
High
or
school, college,
It
yeah.
kind of
The
made me
whole
sick.
time.
I was like,
Yeah.
I was once Lucy at certain points.
Yeah, 100%.
And then it's like, why did I do that? Why did I think that way? But I
Yeah.
feel like that comes with age.
That's what made me so sick reading this book because he'll say something to Lucy
The
and
manipulation.
then the
Yeah.
book you can hear his thoughts
Yes.
and the disrespect.
Yeah. Like he knew what he was doing the entire time.
Disrespect.
Totally, and he
Yeah.
knew how like sensitive and that she would always take him back and like
Yeah.
how he could treat her like shit and she would always be around and I was like, oh, you
Yeah.
sick.
And just like his nicknames that he had for each girl too.
Oh
like
my
he
God,
did the
made me
same
sick.
thing with all of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's not like
Rinse
it was
and
something
repeat.
cute and special. He had a nickname for everybody.
Question number 1. Early on, Lucy repeatedly states that she is not immediately attracted to Steven. Do you believe her? Why or why not?
Oh, I believe her.
It sounds
I feel
like you had
that's
a
happened to me before with guys. But I feel like sometimes their personality or like the manipulation or you don't know how they're thinking. I feel like that draws you in even more.
100%.
If that makes sense.
it was the flabby belly comment for me.
Yeah, they made it very obvious in the book that he was not your typical attractive guy.
Yeah.
And they made comments about his belly and like how he's a little overweight and how he carries the weight in his stomach or whatever. And I think that was so intentional to show that the people who can have the most power over you
Yeah.
are not necessarily the most stunning, attractive people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all about the mind games and how they can manipulate you
Yeah.
I also-
into being obsessed with them.
I also feel like he probably does have a really good personality.
No,
He's
No?
a terrible human.
I don't think so.
I know he's a terrible human,
Yeah.
but like I feel like he probably had like the fun frat boy like energy.
Yeah,
don't
that
even
like,
think
but
he
I feel like that
did.
like
It didn't
tricks
seem
you.
fun.
He
I
did
think he just
the
knew
one
how to
nice thing when they were on the
emotionally-
boat, and he brought the poster
Yeah,
towards the ending.
that's true.
But yeah, I think it was that whole like mysterious manipulation.
Yeah, I
wanting-
think he just knew how to like captivate a girl's attention.
Mm-hmm.
Like going up close behind them and like whispering in her ear something seductive. Like
Yeah.
little things like that. He knew how to like torment in his favor kind
Mm-hmm.
of.
Yeah.
But I don't think he had any personality outside of like doing blow and being like a law student that was super serious about his like MO. I saw no personality from him.
Oh my God, does that remind you of anyone that I dated?
Yeah, unfortunately it does. I have literally PTSD. But no, it reminds me of a person that I
Is
dated.
this like
that
a
you didn't really
toxic
know.
person? You guys have both dated a couple of.
I would
I just
say
had
I
one bad
have
one.
Same.
One-
I had
yeah.
one
You
bad.
guys
I feel
both
like you
had
have
one
to have
bad.
Yeah.
one bad one.
Yeah.
I definitely have
right?
like two bad ones. Yeah, one I dated, the other one no, but he was a
Yeah.
frat boy, so it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it checks out.
yeah.
You have to have it. Isn't it true that you need to have like 3 relationships in your life? Like one that's like absolutely terrible that teaches you something.
Like the first love, the toxic one, and then the real one. They say, is that what it is?
Yeah, something like that. But I also have heard like the toxic one that teaches you a lesson, the one that's like a friend that like you're playing it safe after the toxic one, but he's not the right fit for you, but like he's perfect on paper, but just the chemistry's not there, and then you find the real one.
I hope that's true because I feel like
Yeah.
that describes my dating history perfectly.
Same, me too.
So I hope
Me
so.
too.
That sounds just about right. Okay, I feel like we covered the first question.
Yeah,
Makes
yeah.
sense. Been there, done that. Question number 2. Considering things from only Lucy's perspective, do you see any red flags that should have tipped her off to Steven's true nature?
Well, he was with Diana.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah, he had a
So
girlfriend.
that's
agree.
true. Actually, when we look
Yeah.
at it from Lucy's perspective, like he had a girlfriend.
No, but he didn't when they first met. I don't think she knew it, right?
So technically, Steven and Diana were broken up,
when
but
they
he
met.
was rekindling things behind the scenes. So she
Yeah,
didn't actually
okay.
find out
Yeah.
until I think a little bit later.
Yeah, she knew that like he had an ex that was in a certain sorority or something.
Okay.
But then
That's
there
it.
was like midway through the book, she was sneaking in.
Yeah, she was fully the side piece at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, for like 4 months. So for a bit.
like
But wasn't he
Lucy, my
saying
girl.
that they were going to break up when school was over and he was in the
Yes,
same
yes.
friend group? So
Yeah.
again, back to that manipulation. And when you're younger, I feel like she was like, okay, like this is genuine.
yeah.
That's
So-
like definitely the biggest red flag.
Naive.
Yeah.
Like if you don't blame it on a future thing, like, oh, it's just easier to stay
Yeah.
together. It's like,
Yeah, because
okay,
if you want to
that's
be that
crazy.
with that person, you would be with that person.
Totally.
Yeah. And
So-
to ever ask somebody to sneak around is already a red
Yeah.
flag.
She definitely ignored the red flags.
I'm trying to think what the first red flag would be though.
No.
Isn't it the way that you get a guy is how you're gonna lose the guy?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
I
didn't.
agree
She
with
didn't
that.
know about that line.
No.
She did not.
She was
She
unaware.
Didn't listen to any of the red flags.
No.
But
That.
that's relatable.
Wait, can we talk about the safety van scene?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Guys, that was a part in the book where like my heart sank into my stomach. She gets in the safety van.
She was in it first. She was in the back.
in it first. She was
Yeah.
in the
Wait,
back
start
seat.
before, just for those in case they're listening and they didn't read the book.
Okay. So Lucy and Steven have like a day where they hook up. They have a really promising like relationship from Lucy's perspective. Then they show up to this party together. Steven goes upstairs to like do some drugs. Lucy can no longer find him like an hour later.
She also, I think, she was wasted.
She was wasted. Everybody was wasted, but yeah, she
The
was
last
definitely
party of the
wasted.
year.
Last party of the year before summer. She goes upstairs to try to find Steven, and she finds Steven literally making out with his ex-girlfriend, like up against a wall.
Yeah.
And then from Steven's
I
perspective,
blanked out that perspective. I forgot about that part. I thought that she didn't see anything. She was just so wasted.
No.
Her friend took her in the car, and then they came in.
the reason why they got in the car was she saw what she saw. She was so distraught, and her friend
yeah.
took her into the van to go home.
Oh shit!
But from Steven's perspective, he was like, oh my God, Diana finally wants me. They say I love you to each other.
Yeah.
After Steven had already like made summer plans with Lucy.
Yeah.
He promised that he would take Lucy out on the boat because they're from neighboring towns in New York. Like she was like, oh my God, like he's been kind of concealing me. But now that him and Diana are like going to break up after school, or no, they weren't together at this point.
No, I think this is
Yeah, this was
Junior
the,
year,
no, this
maybe?
was the first year.
Yeah.
Anyway, so from Steven's perspective, he was telling Diana that like he was waiting for her to like crawl back to him. They said I love you, all this stuff, and Lucy had full plans for like them being together all summer long and being in a relationship finally, which is what she was waiting for.
yeah. So then she leaves with her friend. She's in the van.
Yeah, there's a safety van that takes them from the frat to the school, so
Which
there's a
is so
designated
nice.
driver.
Yeah.
Love
was
that.
nice.
I mean,
Did you guys have those on campus?
We didn't have safety vans by the school, but we had
Shuttle.
we had what were they called? It was freshmen that were pledging the fraternity that
that's a bit
drove.
different.
Looking back, I don't feel safe in that.
No, like I distinctly remember there was literally a guy that was like falling asleep waiting for people to get into
Oh
the
my
car, and I was
God.
like, I'm not getting in the car with this fucking
No.
pledge
No.
that's probably on drugs and.
My mom would
Crazy.
pick me up at like 4 a.m.
From
'Cause
college
bars-
parties?
Yes, from like frat houses. The bars in Buffalo would close, I think, at like 4 or 5 a.m. And my mom was like, you are not sleeping out. And she would get me, I would be like blackout, and she'd get me at like 5 a.m.
Wait, did you live at home during?
I did live
college?
at home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so where the frat houses
so
were
nice.
was a really unsafe area. And so they knew that, and they were fine with me going out, but they were like, we are picking you up. Happy that my mom came to get me instead of me like getting in a car with somebody.
No,
Or,
yeah.
they knew I was safe because she was getting me.
Yeah.
Okay, so her friend's gonna take her home because she's all distraught, very upset. And then Diana and Steven literally leave the party and they get into the same safety van.
Yeah.
So they're in like the back seat. They get into the one in front of them, and no words are said.
No words.
Yeah,
Okay,
on the
wait.
way out.
I'm going to share it in a bit more detail because it's a bit fresher in my mind. So, who was the friend? Do we know the friend?
No.
Was it Jackie?
I get all of their
I
them
know.
confused. So her friend, Lucy's friend, escorts her out. It's like, we're going home. She couldn't believe that Lucy just saw what she saw. They get in the safety van in the back row of it. And like the driver like drives away and then realizes that 2 people are waving the van down to get the same ride back to campus. So they kind of like stop in their tracks, and the 2 people that get in are literally Steven and Diana. And just dead silent car. Like Lucy's like crying in silence in the back, but everybody knows who's in the car. Diana knows that Steven's been screwing Lucy. Lucy knows that they were just hooking up and they're clearly going back to Diana's together, and they're just in freaking silence.
Like,
so
that's
sad.
crazy.
The
Now, I
author
was
did
in-
a really good job there.
Yeah,
that was
my-
a
the
good
best scene.
Yeah, that was good.
If I was in that situation, I would want McKenna next to me because McKenna would.
Yeah, I agree. I would have said
Steven's
nothing.
ass.
I
Like,
would beat the shit out of
You would.
Steven.
You would have. I would have
Mother-
been silent crying. Like
yeah.
McKenna
Yeah.
would be the one that would say something.
I would get scrappy too. Trust me.
I feel like Court would get scrappy
I've
in that
thrown
situation
drinks.
too.
I've hit men in bars.
Oh my
if
God,
they deserve
everybody-
it.
I've actually kind of always wanted a reason to like punch somebody. Like I kind of have.
Specifically like a horrible man.
Yeah, that was.
But that
definitely
made
one
me
of the
sad. I
craziest
did feel
scenes.
really
This is a
bad.
good one.
You felt that scene. Like
Yeah,
I felt
you
like
felt
you
it.
felt her pain.
But I was also just so annoyed. Like at that point, how do you ever take him back?
Yeah.
No matter what happens, like
you
how do you
can't.
ever forget that feeling? Like it's just so rude.
Because
In
he knew
real
what he
life, I
was
don't think you
doing.
would.
No,
I actually
But,
don't think you would.
Being her age and in college, he's 2 years older. Again, the manipulation. I
Yeah.
see why she took him back.
Why was Diana interested in him?
exactly. That's
Because
all,
I feel like
that's
she
what
was
I
a little
don't
manipulated
understand.
too.
Now in the
I kind of like
show-
Diana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like she always had the power. Steven
Yeah.
was like waiting for her beckoning call, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like she kind of matched Steven's energy, like wasn't ever submissive to him. And I think that's what he liked. But then now watching the show, so I just finished the show. So the show's like a little more fresh in my mind. Diana came from like a richer family. Her dad is a lawyer. He wants to be a lawyer. She wants to be a lawyer. She's very driven and like kind of made Steven a better person. And the type of person that Steven is he uses people
Yeah.
as pawns. So in the show, I think it made so much sense. And I don't remember exactly what the book said, but she was like, what are you doing with somebody who's not bettering you? Like,
Yeah.
your life was better than me. With me. Your life was
Yeah.
better with me a year ago. We're going to get an internship at my dad's firm. Like, I can help you. And he sees an opportunity and he's like, I want to be a lawyer. She can get me there. Of course, I'm going to choose her over this
Yeah.
silly girl, Lucy, that I don't even care about.
Oh,
And I'm
interesting. I
like,
didn't know that.
I mean, that's how they portrayed
the
it in the
show.
show. But I
Got it.
think it also has those same themes in the book.
That's
he's
so
always
funny.
Because
using
I was gonna
Diana.
say, I feel like that is how a narcissist works. Like they
Yeah.
target people that are going to better them and like that are empathetic. And like Diana kind of had everything going for herself, and he
Yeah.
knew that, so he was gaining something from that.
Yeah.
Lucy, he knew like he could just completely control, and she would do whatever.
Yeah, I just think they had great sex together too.
Yeah.
Like he was obsessed with her. Like
Yeah.
when he was with other girls, he would think about her. And so that was his appeal to her, and then she was just clearly manipulated by him.
Yeah.
So I feel like Diana now is married with 2 kids.
Yeah,
like a
probably.
35-year-old entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And she's a well-off lawyer.
Yeah,
Good for
Wait,
them.
can I tell you what happens in the show?
Yeah.
Wait,
I
in
saw what
season 2
happened.
or
I
Yes.
saw what happened.
Okay, wait, what
Go
happened?
ahead.
Yeah, tell me.
Her friend Pippa,
Yeah.
Lucy's roommate Pippa, ends up becoming a lesbian and dates Diana.
Wait.
No,
I did not
fuck up.
see that. I thought you
Diana.
were gonna say something
No.
else.
Plot
And then
twist.
they show up to Bree and whoever's wedding that you're like back and forth
Oh.
together. And I'm like, Hulu,
Oh.
you're going crazy.
Oh my God.
Like this book was so messed up with the people but then
Yeah.
it takes every single character in the book and they all have their own storyline that makes it so much crazier.
I feel like I would have liked Pippa's storyline. She seems
Yeah.
like a good character.
She's a very strong, like independent, like headstrong person with a lot of opinions. I think a few too many opinions, but I like her in the show a lot.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Did you
So
have
there-
a favorite in the show, and was it different from a character in the book?
I honestly didn't like any of the characters in the book. I feel like I didn't get attached to anyone.
Yeah.
No.
I
They were all
really
so
liked.
stupid.
I know.
Yeah, I really liked Brie in the show, but she's also just kind of stupid. But I think she probably has the most character development a little bit, or maybe not. I don't know. I just kind of liked her storyline. She ends up hooking up with a teacher.
I don't remember
like, crazy
any of
stuff.
Brie, which I
No,
feel
I don't
like-
even know who
remember-
Brie
I
is.
mixed
Like
all
I
of their
know me
friends.
too.
Yeah, I felt the same when reading.
I was like,
couldn't-
who's Jackie? Who's Brie? Who's
Yeah.
Pippa?
Yeah.
They were all the same to me in the book.
Yeah.
Okay, next.
Okay, next question. How are Lucy and her mother CJ alike?
Ugh.
To what degree is Lucy aware of these similarities, and how does her awareness?
Sorry,
I
can we talk about the
hate-
I wanna
CJ
talk
scenario?
about
I hate her mother.
Yes.
Wait, so like she hooked up with her tennis coach?
Yeah.
Yes.
That was
Yep.
like 21.
Yep.
What?
That
She
was
did-
so crazy.
That was
No, it was
so
wild.
disgusting.
Oh, it was wild.
Cheated on the dad. Like,
Wait, did that ever come out? Then
Yeah.
the dad found
That's how it
out.
ended.
yeah.
Oh.
No,
The
she
dad
told.
knew.
She told the dad. CJ told the dad.
Okay. Did
Wait,
they?
she
And they
told-
worked
but
through
she
it
told
privately.
the dad like years prior, right?
Yeah.
so CJ always knew.
And the dad knew.
Or sorry,
So,
the dad
yeah.
always knew.
CJ had the affair with Lucy's 21-year-old tennis instructor that Lucy also had a crush on for about a month. And then CJ felt so guilty that she ended up telling her husband. And then they made up a lie to the children that he went on a work trip because he was just like, he had to like heal and process. And like, he didn't know how he wanted to handle the situation. They didn't want to get divorced, but he was like really pissed, obviously, at his wife. So he would come home on the weekends, but then during the week they'd say he's on a work trip, but he just like stayed at hotels because they wanted some separation. But yeah, so he knew the whole time and they decided to work through it and not tell the kids. So CJ ended up finding out that Lucy knew the whole time and like she was heartbroken over it.
Yeah.
Okay, 40-something-year-old woman, 21-year-old boy.
Sexy tennis
Yeah.
instructor.
Actually,
I mean, hey.
disgusting.
No.
Honestly, like I feel like I got angry because I was like, I don't know how Lucy held that in. Like I would
how-
just
why
go
the-
tell my dad.
yeah.
I was
like
so
that's
mad
what
at
bothered
her.
me. I'm like, you had so many chances to tell your dad. Like I don't know.
Or
I
tell her
wouldn't- I would-
sister.
Somebody
Just tell her mom.
somebody.
I would be like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I-
I saw what you did.
Yeah, and the way that they described the situation, how could you see that
Yeah.
and not be like, what the frick are you doing?
Yeah.
And then immediately tell my mom. Like, I would,
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
be like, I just saw what you were doing. Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know. I feel like I would have confronted it, and then to hold it in and resent her for no
For
reason.
years.
Like,
yeah.
I
It
feel
didn't
like
seem very realistic.
not at all. I mean, I'm sure people do keep things in.
Yeah.
I've never been one to keep anything like that in.
No.
I have to address my feelings for sure. But I was so angry at Lucy for making
Yeah.
it such a big deal. And then let's talk about the jewels of it all.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well,
I
Lucy
know.
didn't want to be the reason that her sister thought any differently of her parents, and she didn't want to be the reason that her parents got divorced. So, like, I think when you are in that situation, you don't know what to do, so you just keep it to yourself, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you just don't know. You don't want to be the reason for a lot of other things, and you prefer to just withstand the
Yeah,
pain
that's
yourself.
true.
You
Yeah.
know.
That's true.
And she's so young. So it's hard to know what to do in that situation.
Yeah.
Like, I
It honestly
can't-
makes me sick. And the fact that she had a crush on
I
him.
know.
I know that made it all the
Yeah.
more worse.
Guys,
Okay,
I have a
okay, maybe the
crazy
book's
story
better
from
than
high
we're
school.
saying. Like that's pretty good.
What?
I feel like it had
that?
good parts.
That's like a
yeah,
it was
they
pretty
had good parts,
That's
and then
pretty
it would
good.
be
It was
kind of
good.
boring,
Yeah.
and then
Wait,
they had
did
a
you
good
guys
part.
see that coming at all?
No,
No.
I'm gonna be honest, like nothing was a surprise to me in this book. Like I saw that Gabe and CJ situation from a mile away, simply because Lucy had a crush on Gabe. They kissed in the car. Gabe was dropping her off at the house, and when he weirdly locked eyes with CJ and saw that Gabe was dropping Lucy off, and then from that point on, he stopped showing up to the tennis lessons. And she was like, what the hell? And I was like, there's something weird happening with CJ. Because she's like the unforgivable thing. Like, I hate my mom. And then I don't know. Like, I
Yeah.
literally saw that happen.
I had no idea.
I thought it was just because like
I
she
thought
was
because
younger.
he was older. Yeah.
I couldn't figure out what the unforgivable thing was.
Yeah.
And then when it happened, my jaw was on the floor.
Mine too.
Like, that was good. And you know what I was so upset about? Not what they showed in the show. And I was
Did
like,
that even
that's one
happen
of
in
the
the show?
best parts. Her mom cheats on her dad, but the dad has cancer.
Oh,
Well, so it's like a sob story. My mom
Oh.
cheated on my dad, like, blah, 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 or cancer. And the way that she finds out is so stupid.
Wait.
One thing I loved is that the book, that I like how that's how it ended. We had a
Yeah.
happy ending.
yeah.
And I feel like that was important for a really toxic book like this.
Yeah.
And to address things, I feel like if anything, that was some character development. Lucy came full circle, was able to forgive her mom,
Yeah.
move on from Steven, and realize, like, what was toxic.
Yeah.
So wait, not even in the show, it wasn't with the tennis player?
No, there
Was
was
he
no
younger?
concept of the tennis player, the coach.
Oh.
She just ends up cheating
show is
on
very
her-
different.
Yeah. Cheating on her dying husband with the husband's best friend.
Oh, that's
That's
so
like
lame.
way more messed up.
That's
Yeah.
lame.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they're both really bad. but-
Lame.
No, and then the way that they find out was also so stupid. It's from Lucy's writing class. So she has to call her mom up to prove she wasn't cheating, and it
my
really
gosh.
happened.
Oh.
Oh.
Stupid. I was like, that is so stupid. The book was so much juicier. And
Yeah.
if you're going to put on a sexy TV show, like, show that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of wild.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. So let's talk about the Jules situation, because I was so angry at Lucy. I was like,
Me
what
too.
are you doing, you crazy, crazy girl?
Crazy
Yeah.
bitch. She was down bad for like
Bad.
for hundreds of pages.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I just like wanted her to like talk to her mom and be like, this is what's happening, I know. And then everything could have been solved so quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like-
but the fact that she stole her mom's jewelry, pawns it off, but then also dumps the rest of it in the water, gets the money,
$20,000,
Goes
not
to the
like
church.
$200.
donates it to church. I was like, girl, what are you doing?
I was like, what is this? Like, she went off about this church, about how
Yeah.
important it was to her family, and it was like a safe space, and then the family stopped going. I don't know.
She owed them something. Like,
It was
I
so
don't-
weird. But I was
It
like,
was-
girl, you're literally broke living in New York. If you're going to
Yeah.
steal
I
money,
would
steal it
keep
for
that money.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd give a little
She actually
donation.
needed the money.
Yeah.
I was just so confused.
no, that infuriated me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, the fact that she did it, the fact, like, she doesn't really have a philanthropic bone in her body. So, like, why do that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm here for philanthropy,
Yeah.
but it just didn't make sense for her.
It also made me kind of mad because, so it's a very common theme that Steven's obviously a narcissist because he doesn't feel regret or remorse
About
or guilty.
anything?
No, he
And
has no
she
empathy.
even said, like, I don't feel guilty about it.
Yeah.
And I'm
So-
like, girl, how do you not feel guilty
but
about
I
that?
feel like
I think
when-
he's made her that way.
I was gonna say
he's
when
made
you're
her
with a person-
desensitized.
Yeah, when you're with a person, I feel like that kind of rubs off on you because you're not getting anything genuine back, so you kind of come
Yeah.
like numb to it in a way.
Yeah.
Are narcissists, like, are you born like that?
I
or do
definitely
you
was with
develop
a
it?
narcissist, so
Yeah.
so usually
tell you.
I know a lot about narcissists, but it's usually one parent that makes you that way. So Steven's mother, look back on her.
Yeah.
Like she was bipolar. So he didn't grow up with a mother figure. And so like I feel like that made him into the person he was. So nobody's born a narcissist. I feel like you're shaped into one
Yeah.
by one of your parents.
Yeah.
So he was lacking the love from his mom. So then I feel like he became that way and he just never had any empathy and never any love from his mother. So I feel like that's why he kind of treated Lucy that way because he was
Yeah.
never given any love from his mom.
Yeah, that makes
If that
sense.
makes sense.
I think that plus experiencing like not a loving household and like seeing how much torture his dad was in for
Yeah.
loving someone that was incapable of like being a productive human in society, like that just turned him off from wanting to involve himself with anything like real emotion.
Yeah. Because if you're not given any genuine love, like I feel like how are you going to give that back?
Yeah, but
Like I feel like he was never really given that.
Yeah.
Not that that's an excuse, but I feel like that just like made him into the person he is.
totally. And to like see his dad be in a position of weakness. Like not getting love that he loved his mom so dearly, but like she couldn't give it to him or their children. Like he doesn't ever want to find himself in a situation like that.
Yeah.
So he's like, nope, I'm just gonna be an absolute horrible human being.
Yeah.
But
Okay, I feel like we covered all the points, but the one other piece I wanted to talk about was I feel like what was the point of the wedding?
Oh no, guys!
Like,
no,
nothing
We missed a huge
actually-
part.
Oh, what?
Macy,
Oh my god.
Yeah.
guys. Also,
yeah.
but like, what was that? Like,
That
what
was
did that
so
have to do with
sad.
anything? Honestly, the redheaded girl that Lucy meets at a party when she's in high school
Who's also the younger sister of the boy.
of Gabe.
Of Gabe, yeah.
Yep.
Wait,
who-
I haven't gotten to the part where he shows up to the wedding yet. It's kind of like
That's
all
not important.
No.
nothing happens. Okay, so
No. You've definitely read this though. So Lucy's at a party. She realizes she's super drunk. And this girl named Macy, this gorgeous redhead. Yes.
she fucking dies. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
She sees Lucy. Macy is sober because she's driving that evening. So she guides Lucy into the bathroom to help her like throw up to get everything out. She'll feel better. Lucy hands her, oh, like, do you want to sip my beer? I'm clearly not going to drink this anymore. Macy's like, no, I'm actually not driving. I'm just, I'm here to I'm not drinking. I'm here to pick up a guy I've been seeing.
Yeah.
He actually has a girlfriend.
Yeah.
I have a boyfriend, but we are planning, things are messy. We're planning to be together. So I'm picking him up. And then what we end up finding out,
McKenna, do you know who it is?
which is breadcrumbing.
No.
Take a wild
Yes.
Take a wild guess.
Guess who it is.
Okay, wait.
Who is the girl that who's the guy that Macy's picking up?
Okay, in a relationship.
In a relationship, but sneaking around.
I'm gonna shut your mic off if you don't get this right.
Okay, wait.
There's literally only one possible person.
Who's the
There's only
craziest
one
person in
we
the book?
talked about.
Steven?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So everyone in the town,
No shit.
everyone in the town has believed that Macy like died in a car crash like by herself. But at first Lucy said that it was because of carbon monoxide.
Yeah. I thought she was in a garage.
Yeah, that's
Like,
what I thought
right?
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even remember that.
That's
They
what it
said
was.
she like was in the garage
And she committed.
Yeah, she committed suicide.
That's what they
I
said at the
thought.
beginning.
Yeah.
But anyway, Steven convinced her that he should be the one driving, even though he had been drinking all evening because he wanted roadhead. And she agreed to it. He got into a car accident. She died immediately on impact. He got out of the car, put her into the driver's seat so it looked like she was in the car by himself.
What?
And then
Yeah.
walked 3 miles home by himself.
The roadhead of
So
it all.
crazy.
I
that's-
can't.
And in the scene where he's describing it, that's all he can focus on is like I can literally still picture her whatever. But yeah, he had no remorse whatsoever.
No.
He was like, yeah, I just picked her body up and I walked home and that
He's
was
so
it.
sick. Like he's
That
to
was
the
it.
point
So
where
sick.
he's
That made
numb
me
to everything.
so
does,
mad.
How do you live with yourself?
I just don't understand. At the end of the book, Lucy just has a gut feeling that Steven was a part of Macy's death. But I don't really understand how she came to that revelation. She just kept on thinking about Macy because she was like, that's so crazy that I was with her like hours before she died.
Yeah.
And she was just this really nice, amazing person. She just always thought it was weird that she wasn't drinking, etc. And then Macy had mentioned to her that she was seeing this guy from Bayville, and so
Yeah.
that's what kept replaying in her head. And then she was like, oh my god, that was Steven. And she confronted Steven about it. He neglected ever knowing her, but she's like, I know it in my gut that was him.
Yeah.
That he was a part of it.
I feel like women like feel things and know things.
Oh,
for
women's
sure.
intuition.
Yeah.
100,000%.
Wait, that's
Yeah.
just crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't know that part.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Okay, the author does do a good job.
Yes,
like,
yes,
I think
it's
hard.
a good. It is a
It's
good book.
Yeah.
And I think it's just really messed up. And I love that you get really into the minds of these people. And like we clearly feel so passionately about the characters, which means it's a good book.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I would recommend it. It's fun to like talk about. Like
Yeah.
there's so
Yeah.
much
Yeah.
And I
drama.
like that it went back and forth from her like to his perspective.
Yes.
too.
So
like
I think
that
it just
too.
takes a little bit to get into it.
Yeah. No, it just like, I think it just gets repetitive. That's all.
Yeah.
But there are like big transformative moments within
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I feel like they
It
could have
is.
cut out maybe like 100 pages.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. I feel like we could definitely get more to the point. One thing I really enjoyed though was reading the book and then watching the show because I thought it was interesting like why Hulu decided to take on certain parts, twist
Yeah.
this part. I'm like, okay, wait, I like this development. Why did you leave this out? Like I would recommend if you're listening in for whatever reason
Doing
you didn't-
both?
Yeah. I would recommend doing both. I feel like that was a fun exercise that you don't get to do a lot.
Yeah.
That was like Daisy Jones.
Yeah,
I love
I
that.
still haven't read that.
Which one?
Oh, I
Daisy Jones
really,
is the best book ever and the
really
best
loved
show
reading
ever.
it. And then I
Yeah.
loved I watched the series immediately after
Highly
reading the
recommend
book.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
That was
Okay,
like
next
10 times
one.
better.
Wait, you gave me that book.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
was
So
good.
good.
Oh, you guys missed out. Sorry.
Next time.
Yeah.
I thought she could have done without the wedding flash forward and flashback. I don't really know what the purpose of it all was.
Yeah.
In the show, makes so much sense. There's a lot more drama that unfolds. But other than her seeing Steven and then figuring out she's over him, I feel like that they could have run into each other in New York. They
Yeah.
could have like gotten together as a reunion or the friendships or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know why it needed to be at the wedding, and I felt like it kept flashing back and nothing actually happened.
I agree.
Yeah.
It
I
was
100%
I'm
agree.
interested like why the author decided to do that.
I feel like
don't know.
maybe a wedding because it's kind of like if it was a reunion or anything else, like I feel like Lucy just wouldn't have gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where a wedding, it's kind of like you feel like you gotta go.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like that's relatable too. Like,
Yeah.
we're not at that point in our lives that we're probably going to attend weddings where like we're going to be forced to be with maybe not our exes, but like people from our past. So I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe
And
it
I
was
feel
an
like there's
element of
different-
relatability.
Yeah, different feelings at weddings too. Like I
Yeah.
feel like there's so much love and and then to see like your ex in that type of situation.
Oh,
With the
also
new-
he's engaged.
Yeah,
with
that's
someone's
crazy.
engaged, too.
With the
And
girl
Steven
that
is
he
engaged?
went
Yeah.
on a date with when he was cheating on Lucy.
Yeah.
So that probably also
Was that
stinks.
the New York
that
girl?
would be triggering.
No,
different,
not
Alice.
different
a new
one.
New York
Oh
girl.
my gosh,
Yeah.
there's so many more girls. Like
I
come
know.
up. Okay,
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, imagine being at a wedding, single, and then you see
No,
your
she's
ex.
not single. She's just
Oh.
with the guy she hates.
Wait,
Who's
which one is
really
she with?
dumb?
What?
Oh,
Is
the
that Bill?
loser.
Is Bill?
It's like the
Billy?
first
That was-
for the first pages of the
Is it
book.
Billy?
Yeah.
He asks for nudes like every 5
Oh,
seconds.
Hey,
yes,
babe.
Yeah. Oh, seeing somebody you're in love with at a wedding, I feel like is even more triggering.
Yeah, that's true.
100%.
Because
That's
all
true.
the love in the air.
Yes, I agree
Yeah.
completely.
And it's like what could have been because she
Yeah.
also her and Steven set up the bride and groom.
Yeah, and
so
then
that
he's
also had
engaged,
an
so she's
Dane.
like,
It's
"Wow,
Dane.
Dane? Oh, that's his name. Who's Billy? Was there a
Babe.
Billy?
There was a Billy. I don't
There's
know
a
who
Billy.
that it was
Which one's
though.
Billy? Oh, Billy is her boyfriend in college, and then she cheats on him when Steven comes to college.
No, I thought it was Parker. Or
I think it's Billy.
Wait, I saw a
No,
clip
I
on
don't think it is.
TikTok. I feel like we already spoiled some things, but Steven sleeps with Lucy in the morning, and then she sleeps with her boyfriend in the afternoon. Who is that? What guy is that? It was in the show.
I
She's
haven't
wearing
seen
like
it.
the same underwear.
Oh, in the show.
Yeah.
Ew, not the same
That
underwear.
is
You-
crazy.
yeah, who is that guy? Is that a guy from the book?
No, not a guy from the
Okay.
book. Someone they introduced in the show.
He's cute, that guy.
That was crazy, guys. The show.
Yeah,
so
I can't wait
good.
to
Like
watch
the
it.
show
That
is
was
so
crazy. I was
Alright,
like,
so
what?
moral of this podcast episode: watch the show.
I need to watch the show because I saw that and I was like, oh my god.
You can skip the book.
I don't know.
I feel like it's fun to
compare.
do.
Sorry,
It-
we're
it
on
is
the
fun to
You Can Do
compare.
Both podcast.
Yeah.
So you should do both.
I think it's fun because in the book you picture what the character is going to look like and how they're going to act, and then
Yes.
when you watch the show, it's fun to see that.
Wait, so did you guys once you saw who was casted for the Hulu show? Did it make sense with what you were visualizing when you were reading the book?
yes.
100%.
I
Lucy,
guess
yeah.
Steven,
Steven,
because
no, it
he's
doesn't make
not.
sense.
Well, because like they
thought
made
he'd
it
be
seem like he
fatter.
wasn't going to be attractive, and I feel like that guy. I'm not like, oh wow, but I get the attraction still.
Yeah.
He
So I-
kind of did it for me. He wasn't pudgy. Aside from
Yeah.
that, I didn't find him initially attractive, but
Mm-hmm.
then I can see how he can become attractive.
Yeah.
So I feel like they actually did a really good job matching the characters.
I-
for me personally.
would have imagined, because I just looked up the picture, a pudgy man with a nice face.
Yeah, but they had to make him sexy for this. Like,
Yeah,
he had
he's
to be like
naked
kind of
most of the
attractive.
show.
Oh, is
yeah.
he?
Oh, really?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I didn't think there was that much. Actually, that's not true. I guess there was. Oh my god, I was like watching this show while I'm like making dinner. Joe's playing his video games, and all of a sudden he's just hearing moaning. And he was like, another scene? I'm like,
God.
yeah, I know you want to watch. We can watch it together.
We have to watch.
So funny.
Yeah. All right, on that note, we're just going to chit chat off the mics now. I think we've recapped the book.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot to unpack here.
Yeah.
I think we unpacked it well.
Yeah.
I think we unpacked it enough that even if you didn't read the book and you listened to this, you're probably intrigued.
Yeah.
Minimally would totally recommend watching the show.
Yeah.
Sorry, 1 second. The author of the book looks like just a classic, I don't know, like 40-year-old mom.
Normal gal.
She does.
Yeah.
I feel like they all do, though. I feel like
Yeah.
they all look like your classic middle-aged woman.
They look
Yeah.
like writers.
Yeah.
Like, there's a specific
Lives
look
in
to them.
Connecticut. She gets a bit graphic.
Yeah, she does get a big graphic.
Go ahead.
Thank you so much for joining. You Can Do Both's first ever book club. We are so excited to host the next one. We don't know what it's going to be yet, but it's going to be something
I don't think
really
I can do
good.
this again. Honestly, this is way too chaotic. I'm gonna do a solo book club
I thought it was
episode.
fun.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
All right.
I liked it.
It's a wrap.
I thought it was fun.
You know what we should do? I know. Okay, ready?
What?
Yeah.
Dana, close us out with your news reporter voice.
Yes. Oh
Okay.
my god.
Dude, I get
Go.
so nervous. I feel like I need a topic. Guys, I'm so nervous.
Come on, you got it.
Backstory, I was a news reporter for 3 years, but I still get nervous. Thank you so much for joining us on You Could Do Both for our first book club.
We'll talk to you next week.
We'll see you soon. Dana
And
Casulo,
scene.
downtown.